Patricia Vallone is with us, and we'll have more on that story. Patty? Well, supporters say Governor Hogan's comprehensive crime bill of 2018 will help keep Marylanders safe, but opponents say otherwise. Testimony was heard today on that bill in the House Judiciary Committee. The measure would significantly increase penalties for certain offenses. Some say the proposal would disproportionately harm people of color. The bill passed recently in the Senate, but it may have an uphill battle in the House.
They need to demonstrate that hiking these penalties and increasing these minimums, including mandatory minimums, are going to have any effect on criminal behavior. There are national organizations like the National Institute of Justice that have researched and that say these kinds of enhanced penalties do not work. And for that reason, we oppose this bill.
I think that we're going to be listening, especially from our constituents. I know I've been getting emails from my constituents about the bill in opposition, but I think you have a lot of legislators who feel that with the way things have been happening in Baltimore City, something has to be done. As I've said before, I think it's not necessarily that something needs to be done, it's that the right thing needs to be done. So we're trying to make certain that if this bill comes out, it's going to be put in the right posture.
Other organizations opposing the bill include the Maryland ACLU, the Prince George's People's Coalition, and the NAACP. Well, as the community continues to mourn the mass shooting in St. Mary's County, the 16-year-old victim will be laid to rest. Jalen Willie was shot in the head by 17-year-old Austin Rollins in the hallway at Great Mills High School on the 20th. Now, officials say the two had been in a relationship that recently ended. Jalen's visitation will be from 2 to 7 on Thursday at Hollywood Volunteer Fire Department. The funeral service will be at 10 on Friday at that same location. Well, it seems school threats are becoming a common occurrence. Denise Douglas has more on the latest in the county.
That is right, Patty. Students and parents can expect to see more police outside of CMIT South Charter School, which is located in Upper Marlboro. This after someone wrote a threat on a bathroom wall recently indicating that harm would be done to the school. According to authorities, the investigation into that incident continues. Well, in other news, the U.S. Supreme Court is set to hear a major redistricting case on Wednesday that involves Maryland. The justices will hear a Republican challenge to a Democratic-leaning district in Maryland's 6th congressional district. Challengers accuse Democrats of gerrymandering in order to control more districts. This is the second redistricting case to go before the High Court over the last 6 months. Maryland Congressman Chris Van Hollen says the current system must be changed.
We need redistricting reform in this country, and we should do it on a nonpartisan basis, and we should do it on a national basis as well. In other words, all the states need to be part of that reform effort going forward. And because, people should pick their elected officials rather than elected officials picking their constituents by how they draw the lines for these congressional districts.
A decision on the case is expected by late June. The Comptroller of Maryland is warning people about unscrupulous tax preparers. 20 locations have recently been stopped from filing returns, bringing the number to 54 so far this season. Some are in Prince George's County, including Immaculate Money, Brightway Professionals and Associates, and Artie So Tax Service. Sharon Bernardi with the Comptroller's Office explains that the businesses have been flagged for having a high number of questionable returns and other reasons.
We identify a certain number of returns that file that have certain characteristics, usually high itemized deductions, high business expenses that are irregular. And our data warehouse technology and our questionable returns detection team work together in order to identify these types of discrepancies, which we call distortions in this area, that will lead us to identify this type of fraudulent activity.
April 17th is this year's filing deadline.